The Champions League is back, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, so are my Champions League predictions, where today we're going to be talking about the round of 16, leg 1. And as we have some fantastic games to cover, let's jump into things. So looking at game number 1 on our return to the Champions League, we have AC Milan versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Now of course, look at both of these two teams, neither of them necessarily where they want to be in their domestic seasons, and both French goalkeepers seem to be injured, so in terms of goals, they could really be flowing in a game like this. Saying that though, looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, I feel like they've been in slightly better form than AC Milan.
Yeah, okay.
And because of that, I could see them stealing a 1-0 win here. I do think Harry Kane will be the difference, as we know, breaking record after record in the Premier League. And whether he can help Tottenham Hotspurs to the next stage of the Champions League, once again, we're going to have to wait and see. But versus an AC Milan team that are struggling at the moment, I do think he could score. Jumping into game number 2, we have PSG versus Bayern Munich, arguably the biggest game in the return of the Champions League. And it is ironic that this game will be played on Valentine's Day, because I do not see a single clean sheet coming their way.
What did he say?
Obviously, looking at PSG, although they've been fantastic throughout their domestic season, in fact, in terms of all of Europeans' top 5 leagues, they have the best points per game ratio. But versus Bayern Munich, I could see a few problems. Obviously, PSG are missing Kylian Mbappe, and there are talks about Lionel Messi being injured. And versus a very informed Bayern Munich team that now have Cancelo and Davies as their fullbacks, once again, absolutely lethal partnership, and I could see things go sour for PSG. But once again, due to their domestic league success, I do think this could go absolutely either way, and I'm going to put down a 2-2 draw and leave it to the second leg for these two teams to battle it out. Borussia Dortmund versus Chelsea is next. Now of course, as we know, Dortmund finally have a proper number 9 up front, as Sebastian Haller has returned to football.
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
And versus a very good defensive Chelsea team who have kept 3 clean sheets in their last 3 Premier League games, that could be absolutely vital. Although saying that, I'm still waiting for Chelsea to score a few more goals, and until they do so, I know this could be a serious shock prediction here. I actually think Dortmund could take a win here. Yes, I know 3rd in the Bundesliga, maybe they haven't been competing to the level that I thought they would. I really thought that they would be able to dominate the Bundesliga, but of course without Haller for majority of the season, you can't really judge them too much. But I do think versus a very underwhelming Chelsea team, we could see an upset here. Club Brugge versus Benfica is next. Now, of course, looking at Club Brugge, defensively one of the best teams in the Champions League group stage, I am a tiny bit worried for them. 4th place in the Belgian Pro League at the moment, which considering, I feel like there are only like 4 teams in that league, it is not ideal for them, especially versus a Benfica team that have lost 0 games in the Champions League this season and only 1 game in their entire domestic season. I do think heading into this, Benfica are the better team. Saying that, we can't forget how good Club Brugge have been in the Champions League defensively, and because of that, I feel like Benfica are only going to take a 1-0 win. Once again, could be very close, but I do think we have a winner here. Next up, we've got another very interesting fixture with Eintracht Frankfurt versus Napoli. Now looking at Frankfurt, currently 5th place in the Bundesliga, Muani could definitely be a star to watch here with 9 goals and 10 assists in the Bundesliga. Absolute monster of a player, and versus any other team in the world, I do feel like Frankfurt could have a chance. But versus easily one of the best teams in world football right now with Napoli, who have only lost 1 Champions League game and 1 Serie A game, it is not going to be an easy battle. And especially with the firepower Napoli have up front at the moment, I do feel like there are the strong favourites here, and I really hate to say it to Frankfurt because they have been good. I do think Napoli will take a 2-0 win. Next up, we've got a very, very familiar fixture to the Champions League with Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Now, of course, I didn't quite realize this, but if you look at the last 6 meetings between these two teams, Real Madrid have won 5 of the last 6 meetings. I didn't realize to what extent they dominated it. Obviously, Real Madrid not doing quite as well as they did last season in La Liga, but still a lot better than Liverpool. As we know, Liverpool seriously struggling this season, although they have had a bit of redemption in the Champions League. Of course, we're still waiting for the return of Virgil van Dijk, Jota, and so many other brilliant players for Liverpool, and until those players return, I don't know versus Real Madrid whether Liverpool really stand a chance. Once again, it is the Champions League, surprises happen all the time, but this time around I do feel like Real Madrid should dominate this first leg and they could take it 2-0. Who knows, maybe it will lead up to an exciting comeback in the second leg. We've seen Liverpool do it time and time again, but this time around I do think it will go to Madrid. Jumping into our second last game of the round of 16 of the Champions League, we have Inter versus Porto. Now looking at Inter, although I don't feel like they've played their best football in the Champions League this season, they've actually been good overall. Only 2 losses in the Champions League, despite the fact they haven't been playing brilliant football in my opinion, and they are second in the Italian league.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
which, considering the top kind of quality in there at the moment, it is really impressive. Obviously, look at them versus Porto. I do feel like there could be an upset though, because look at Porto. Once again, absolutely brilliant. You look at a striker like Taremi in terms of goals and assists. Once again, he is a big game player, and versus some top opposition, we could see a surprise here. And although Inter are looking good at the moment, I kind of do feel like putting a bit of an upset prediction here, which is why I'm going to give Porto a 1-0 win. Once again, it's football. Absolutely anything can happen, and let's hope anything can happen here. And that takes us to our final game of the Champions League return with RB Leipzig versus Man City. Now, RB Leipzig, obviously 4th place in the Bundesliga at the moment. They won the last time they played Man City. I mean, I think in terms of Champions League, they've only played 2 games against each other with 1 win apiece. We won't look at Man City's goals there. And I do feel like, once again, it has potential to go either way. We've seen City lose some really weird points this season. I mean, how funny would it be if this was the season they finally won the Champions League, but due to their fair financial play rules, they got their Champions League taken away.
No, you cannot joke about that.
Once again, it's almost written in the stars. But as much as I like this RB Leipzig team and as much quality as they have, I still think City are the better team here, and I'm going to give them a 3-2 win. I feel like it's a game that could have a lot of goals in it. But once again, we're going to have to wait and see whether Erling Haaland finally delivers again. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for my Champions League round of 16 leg 1 predictions. Once again, don't forget to put your predictions down below. I know we've all got different opinions, so I can't wait to see what you guys say down below. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe as well, as that does help the channel out massively, along with liking the video down below. But guys, until next time, this has been your boy Finn, FYNN. Till next time, cheers.